and this physical side of your character that is unbreakable almost is almost hilarious on a level. I mean, you take more punishment than I think anybody has ever taken on television. The first time we see you, Claire is mending a bullet wound, and your arm's broken. We've seen you flogged and whipped and beaten. In the end of the season, your hand is all busted up, and there are many. They just punish you, don't they? Physically.
Yeah, I think Diana's got something against Jamie. I think there's certainly something there. But yeah, well, I mean, up until he meets Claire, Jamie has time and again put his body on the line. He has no responsibility. You know, we see the scars on his back. We see all these other terrible wounds and things he's got. And he does that continue throughout the show. But up until he meets her, he has no responsibility. He has no real home. He doesn't really know who he is as a young man. And the arrival of her into his life really starts him on his journey of becoming a man and becoming responsible and having responsibilities to his family and to his wife and to his future, his children or even his tenants as a laird. But yes, he up until this point, his body has been almost disposable. As long as he can just keep eating and living, then that's fine. But now he has a wife, and then he has to look after himself. But yet somehow he does still end up getting beaten up a lot.
When we see the scars on your back, take us through the day of shooting there. How long does it take makeup to do that before a scene? Is it hours?
Yeah, if only it were minutes. But they are terrific. They are such an incredible team. But yeah, when we were shooting Wentworth, for instance, it would be about 4 hours in the morning before shooting. Then we'd shoot maybe 12 to 14 hours, and then another hour and a half taking it off. It's pretty grueling because in between shots, there's someone constantly touching up the prosthetics or the paintwork. So it is pretty grueling, and certainly requires a lot of patience. But I think for me, it was almost again a gift, because it would be 4 hours where I'd be very tired and having very little sleep, but 4 hours of sort of just getting into character and getting into that mindset of where Jamie's at. And then at the end of the day, it's sort of removing all the layers of skin and removing all this prosthetic work really was a great way to sort of release and to get out of character. And it was grueling, certainly, for the few weeks that we were shooting those scenes. But it's a fascinating part of Jamie's character as well, that he has this past and that he wears, on his skin, and he doesn't want people to see or know it's there. But yet it doesn't affect him. It doesn't, he's not troubled by it, in that he just gets on with his life and he moves forward. And I think that's what's interesting about him, that he's ever buoyant and ever moving forward, and not heavily weighed down by things.